Fran Brown is the new head coach at Syracuse University, which is huge. That's huge news. We'll get to that in a second. We're going to talk about some of the championships over the weekend, and I got some questions for y'all, man. I'll get to those questions in a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in. Real quick, man, just everybody give yourselves a round of applause, man. It's been a crazy year. It came, it went so fast. It's over. You know what I'm saying? It's really over. I know there are games being played right now at MetLife, but to us in South Jersey, we could care less about them, right? We could, to keep it all the way 100, we could care less what's going on at MetLife right now. But we still got guys up there. Salute to some of our guys that held it down this weekend. Chris Baker and Josh, salute. Thank you guys for holding it down for us. I want to make sure this is out, man. So here we go, man. Here's the question that I'm asking you guys, and you know it could go on throughout the broadcast or whatever. You tune in to this a little bit later, you can chime in the comments. Please feel free to chime in with the comments. But here's the question. Now that the football season is over, how long do you give your kids to rest, recover? Do you jump right back into it? Do you give them a couple weeks? Do you give them a month? How long do you give your kids to recover after the football season? That's the question that I have for y'all, and I wanted to ask you guys. I just felt like it was something that's always been asked to me, so I'm gonna ask you guys. So we got one comment. One comment is about 2 weeks. It's about 2 weeks. 2 weeks that's a good time. That's to be honest with you, that's a good time period. 2 weeks. I normally, when my son played, I tried to give him about. I gave him a month off, right? And here's why I did that. I'm not saying that that's what everybody should do, but I gave him a month because once the season was over, we got into December, right? So you get into December, and then once you get into December, it started getting cold. I ain't even gonna hold you. It starts getting cold, but you have the holiday season coming up, right? So if you give them 2 weeks, that's going to put us right around Christmas, right? If you are ending after Thanksgiving, right? That should put us right around Christmas. And then in that Christmas time, you know, people take vacations, they go away, things like that. So I never really wanted to kind of mess with that time period. I wanted to take that time for us to detox, especially me as a parent, man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm OD when I'm at the games. Listen, I want my son's teams or my daughter's teams to win whatever game they playing. So I'm all in. My anxiety be high, so I need to get myself together before I get back into it. But I normally gave my son about a month off. Right after the new year, we right back in it. We right back in the lab. But 2 weeks it seems reasonable too. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like 2 weeks is not a good amount of time. Son started indoor track in 2 days. See, and that's another thing. Yeah, you get that as well. You get, you know, kids rolling over into basketball season, kids rolling over into track and things like that. So that was just a question I had to ask you guys because, you know, I never. Yeah, my son didn't play basketball, and he never did. He run? No, never ran. Did he run indoor? He never ran indoor. He ran outdoor track. So during that little rest period, you know, I gave him that little bit of time. But you know, with his situation, it was a little bit different. Some of you guys may experience it. He had severe shin splints like his sophomore year, so we gave him a little bit of time off, and then he had a hip flexor going into that was his junior year. He had a hip flexor that he was kind of nursing all through that season. So I just wanted to get you guys' opinion, man. What is the proper amount of time to give your son off or your daughter off after the season? That was the question. If you jump in a little bit later, feel free to answer that question. Go ahead, put it in the comments, and we'll get to it. But I just wanted to talk about this, man. It's big news coming out of South Jersey right now, with the new hire of Fran Brown as the new new head coach. He goes from defensive back coach at Georgia. He is now the head coach. I want to say salute. Congratulations to Fran Brown. Congratulations to his family and everybody that stuck, with him through this journey of becoming a head coach. It's not easy to become a head coach. And I'm going to say this, but it's sometimes difficult as a black coach to become a head coach. So that makes this even more impressive, that he finally gets his shot. I know everybody was kind of screaming for him to get just a defensive coordinator spot. For him to take on this role, this is big, man. So big news out of South Jersey. He becomes the 31st head coach of Syracuse University. And what does this do for South Jersey? What does this do for recruits coming out this year? What does it do for the transfer portal guys? How does that affect what's going to happen in the future with South Jersey recruiting? Man, we had some guys that were already committed. We had some guys that were on the fence about where they want to go. And I'll say this is the other part to all of this, right? Now that Fran has the job, one thing that we can't do as people that are supporters is flood him with everybody trying to jump on. You know what I'm saying? He has to be selective. We can't get mad if he doesn't select or, recruit certain guys from our area. It's a business. If he doesn't win, if he doesn't succeed, they will be looking to get a new coach. So I understand that it's going to be, very selective for him of guys that he picks, to come join him at the University of Syracuse. It's a big time job. We want to see him succeed. So everything that we have to do as supporters, we need to do, man. We need to definitely be there for him, to give him the love, the support, anything that he needs. We need to definitely be there. So, my second question of the day, what does this do for South Jersey? How does this affect the recruiting in South Jersey? How does this affect Rutgers? How does this affect Penn State and Temple? You know what I mean? Delaware is getting ready to go to Conference USA, it looks like. So this is a big hire, somebody who knows South Jersey, somebody who knows the Philadelphia and North Jersey very well, who's very well connected in those areas. So how will this affect things, man? Man, if I'm Rutgers, I'm sweating bullets over there, man. And if you're Rutgers, hate to ask this question, but do you keep Schiano? You see you see the moves being made. Do you keep him? Do you bring somebody in that may be able to shake up that boat, man? These are just questions. Feel free to chime in. Feel free to chime in. Oh man, thanks, Christopher. Yeah, we're going to get to that right after this, man. It was a we'll kind of transition into that right now, with the group one. We'll go ahead and translate into the group one playoffs. We had our teams up there. I appreciate you guys, supporting us throughout the year too. I want to say thank you to everybody that supported, whether you liked, shared, whether you supported the videographers or cameramen or, some of our writers and things like that. Salute to you guys as well. Thank you for supporting us. Man, that game, I watched that game. And what I will say about that game is, I'll get into I'm gonna just get into the overall context for me. watching that game, it told me a lot, right? It told me a lot. Salute to Glassboro getting there way ahead of the curve. Nobody expected you guys to be there. So for you guys to pull off the wins and things that you did this year was big for your program moving forward. A lot of young guys. So it's one of those games where going into it, I knew it would be an uphill battle for Glassboro. I knew they needed to make some explosive plays, create some turnovers, things like that, to kind of get the ball rolling for them, maybe help them, get them out of the moment of being up at Rutgers or whatever, and then get them out of the moment in the thought process of being a young team playing, in the first game, first state championship game. That's what I think it came. I think it came down to the youth of Glassboro. Mountain Lake's been there, right? They knew what to do. They knew how to prepare, all of that stuff. They had a lot of older guys. I'm not going to say they were more talented than Glassboro, but they were a well-coached team. And listen, they ultimately came out with the victory in that game. But Glassboro shouldn't be hanging their heads. They should be licking their chops. Can't wait to get back into it for next season and get the ball rolling. That was a huge game for them. Yes, salute to Coach Baker. Nobody expected them to win. I remember, I'll tell you this, when we talked to them about in the summertime, we talked to them about coming to the 7-on-7 event, and they told me, at the time that they just didn't feel like they were ready to do that at the moment. And it was a joke because I told them, I'm like, man, y'all always ready. Y'all got talent. You know what I mean? 7-on-7 is about, really it eliminates the whole offense and defensive line. It takes that part out of the game, and it kind of allows the skill guys to kind of showcase their talent. I felt like, and I still feel like, Glassboro definitely has the talent where they're going to be able to compete for the next 2 to 3 years easily. But they have to, they definitely have to take advantage of this opportunity that they do have with having this talent. Glassboro was 1 year early. I believe so. They definitely were ahead of the curve. Like I said before, they were there. They were competing. But that's listen, man, it's a big stage. That's a big stage up at Rutgers. They did what they had to do. They got there. They competed. They fell short. So they know what to do to get back there next year. It reminds me of the situation that Salem was in the year that they lost to Paulsboro. They thought they had the team to go to the championship. They wind up losing. The next year they come back, get the game, win the field goal, all of that. And now they're up at up at Rutgers, I'm sorry, competing for a championship. And that's what it's all about, man. Just bounce back, get it back going, jump back on that horse, man. They'll be back next year. Definitely will be back next year. A bunch of freshmen and sophomores. It's hard to get them focused under the bright lights. It is. Sometimes it takes a play or two, and to me, I wasn't able to go. So to me, watching at home, it looked like they were trying to get one of those big plays, those explosive plays that kind of helped them, get to that moment, but they just weren't able to get it. It's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, man, Mountain Lakes was a really good team. They were there last year. Like it's nothing to hang your head about with that. You know what I mean? So what we got going on? Parents going to go with the coach they can trust, come from inner city. Okay, this is about Fran Brown. Yes, that's why I think it's going to be very interesting. The ripple effect that he has in the South Jersey area, man. Listen, Temple, Rutgers, Delaware, Penn State, Maryland, like all of them will be affected by Fran Brown. Hopefully he could get some of the big fish here in South Jersey. That'll be huge. Chris, the experience loss will benefit them years to come. Yes, for sure. I definitely think that they'll be back. They have the talent to get back next year. What do we have? Both Sabs, Simmons return next year. Yes, sophomore, freshmen. So, you know, Glassboro, salute. Congratulations on your run. Nothing to be upset about. But there are no moral victories. It's not a moral victory to get there. I know you guys want to get back there next year. And this is this kind of creates some mental toughness. It creates some hunger. That group of kids have been very successful the last couple years. I just reposted a article that we did on their championship game versus Eastern Junior Vikings a couple years ago. Those guys are used to winning. So, I know this one stings, but, y'all will be right back there, man. Right back next year. All right. So, let me see. Let me check in. Man. What was the other game? The other game was Delsey. They won the championship. So I'm going to get to something about this whole Delsey thing and some things that I've seen online about other programs that have played Delsey this season, even last. But this Delsey team, man, in my personal opinion, this is my opinion alone. This is not the opinion of D2 Sports Network. This is not the opinion of everyone associated. This is my own opinion. And my opinion about that game, yes, you guys can. All right, you got to go upstairs. You give me 5 minutes, I'll be up there, okay? All right, go ahead. Please. Yeah, you could play. I'm sorry about that, guys. This is live impromptu, so I ain't tell nobody I was going live. My daughter ready to, she want to play with her toys down here. It's all good. But listen, my opinion about that, this Delsey team, in my opinion, is better than the Delsey team last year that made it up to Rutgers. This team was loaded. You know what I'm saying? This team was loaded. From the offense, the defensive line, skill guys. Definitely not at the studio tonight. Y'all know how it is. I'm at the crib, so y'all might get a little bit of everything tonight. I apologize, but appreciate it, Dwayne. Appreciate it, but this team was, in my opinion, it was better than last year. Here's why, and I'm gonna get into it. When you have a guy come in, Russo, right? And then you have, I believe Maxwell last year was hurt and couldn't play. So they got all their guys back. They got all the guys that couldn't play last year in the championship game. They got all of those guys back. So when you lose Choppy, right, and you get Russo, it's kind of like an even thing right there. When you really think about it, it's kind of even. So now they had their quarterback healthy. They had their running back was a monster. They had Wayne Adair. They were doing some things. And then that offense and defensive line, man, all season, I think their offensive line was a little bit underrated. I know we sometimes tend to think about, the private schools having a better offense and defensive lines, but that old line, man, they were huge. They were big. They were big, and they weren't just big. They were able to move with that size. They were able to really control, football games. The one game, against Camden, they had the ball almost 6-7 minutes. You get into a game like that, that's sheesh. That is, that's a killer. That's a backbreaker for a defense. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just in my opinion. I felt like they were a lot better. They were better this year. I'm not going to say how much, but they were definitely better team this year. But off of their championship, I want to say this, man, for them and also Mainland, I think a lot of people don't watch high school football, right? they hear about high school football and what's going on, but they're not actually at the games and watching what's going on. If you are, you would know that it is no slight that Camden, Millville, and Winslow lost this year to these teams. When you look at what Delsey was able to do this year, they played Winslow, they lost to Winslow. You have to keep in mind when they lost to Winslow, they didn't have some of their key guys. A lot of guys had to sit out when they played that game. And then when they play Camden, they're at full strength. Camden has some guys out. But at the end of the day, like, I went into that game and I'm a Cam. Listen, I got the East Side stuff over here, the Woodrow Wilson stuff over here. I got Camden Panther stuff over here. So I'm not biased. I'm a fan of both programs. You know what I mean? I'm a purple and gold alum. But I went into that game against Delsey, and I didn't have Camden as the favorite. I knew they were an underdog, and I was looking at them at about a 14-point dog. That's just me being honest. I know the season's over now, so I can kind of, put my opinions and things that I thought out there. But I didn't go into that game thinking Camden was going to win that game because I just knew, and I was able to see how Delsey was playing. So, when I say that, I don't mean to oh man, Terry Collins. Terry, come on, go blue and I'm out. Oh, come on. Come on. We're not talking about Ohio State and Michigan. We're not doing that on this one. All right. We over that. But when you when you get into those games, it's a lot that goes into that. But yeah, man, it's like a lot of people, they just don't watch football. Like, they don't get out and watch other high schools. They only watch their team. But, and that kind of hurts your opinion and what you're able to assess when it comes to teams. And you tend to be a little more biased to your home team than being realistic. Another team that we got to salute for sure is Mainland. Mainland, they go on, they win the championship as well. Same thing, man. If you would have seen what Mainland has been able to do over the last couple of weeks, leading up, they were just they just kept the wheels going. When everybody was saying Atlantic City was a team that was going to end all their undefeated season, you saw what they did to Atlantic City. And over the last 3 weeks, I want to say they scored almost, I know the last 2 weeks, they scored almost every possession. Like, that's crazy, bro. Every possession that they had the ball, they scored. Listen, the first half of the championship, first quarter of the championship game, I texted out, I said, I said, oh man, I said, what did I say? I said, Mainland, they off again. I think Camden knew what they were facing. I definitely think they knew what they were facing. I don't think they went into that game underestimating Delsey. I think those coaches at both schools are very smart and very wise. But at the end of the day, as a coach, when you're when you're a little, you think you got a chance to win, and they could have. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought they were a 14-point underdog. However, I did think with the way that their style of play, if they were able to do some things up front with that protection, they did have opportunities to score through the air, but they weren't able to hold up as much as I thought that they would be able to make it a game. But this Mainland game, dog, that team ain't have no shot, bro. Let's just keep it all the way out here, man. Listen, they didn't have a shot. They went into that game, they thought they was going to be able to do some things, and they found out very quickly. Hey, listen, people found out very quickly in the first quarter. I'm saying, like, I'm going to go to the box score. Let me see if I can find the box score. Hold on one second. Let me see. Let me get to this box score. In the first quarter, their first possession, they scored on every possession. They scored. I think they still might have just scored. They scored 14 points in the first quarter, dog. At that moment, I said it was over. I said they started already. Like, let's just be honest. When sometimes a team is just that good, bro. Like, sometimes they're just that good. Like, they have all the pieces. They have all the pieces. They scored 14 in the first quarter. Then listen, 14 was not enough. So they said, we want to up this a little bit and score 28 points in the second quarter. 28 points. And then they chilled out. Man, we got this. Hey, get the JV guys ready. Put them in a championship game. This was a championship. And they still put up 14 more points in the second. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. Listen, we was hearing the train horn from Rutgers. I was hearing it in my living room. Listen, I had the TV on mute. I was watching the Eagles game. They still was scoring. They just scored again. Come on. Guys, really think about this. This was a championship game. And Mainland rolled, bro. It was no hiccup. It was like nothing. I think Ramapo, bro, listen. You get rolled 56-0, and you were a 12-0 team going into the game. Bro, come on, man. 56-0, bro, in a championship game. We gonna talk about, come on, man. Listen, and that's why I say, like, you know, sometimes people make the comments, like, you know, about other coaches and other teams that Mainland rolled this year. Oh, we should have beat Mainland. We could have beat. They wasn't that, man. Listen, they wasn't that good. That's all you. We could have did this. I'm telling y'all, you couldn't. Like, they rolled. They rolled. They were good. Listen, this is how good there was. When you talk about Mainland, right? What's the kid name? Ordilly, right? You got Ordilly. You got Francini. You know, you got Cook. I just said 3 names. And I didn't even mention 2 guys that are Division I commits. I didn't even mention them. I didn't even mention Hunter Watson. I didn't mention Jamie Tice. Like, come on, man. What we talking about? Bro, Jamie Tice is in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. He got 11, 12 interceptions on the season. One season. 11 or 12 picks, bro. Like, what we talking about, bro? Like, what we talk? He's in a conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. Let me see. Chris says he finished the year with 12 picks. He got 12 interceptions. He's got to be in a conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. And then you got a guy in Ordilly who's in the conversation for Offensive Player of the Year. In this game alone, he had, 186 yards rushing? 186 rushing? In a championship game, 186 yards rushing. Do y'all hear these stats, bro? They went crazy Sunday. Bro, they went absolutely crazy Sunday. Like, you know, we talking about it, man. We got to give respect when respect is due. You know, they earned it. Listen, we gave all the respect to Millville when they was rolling. You know, it's time for us to give them their respect. You know, salute to Mainland. It's no doubt on my listen. They the best team in South Jersey. I don't care about publics, privates. I don't care about none of that. They are the best team in South Jersey, in my opinion, and they should be the number one team out of South Jersey. You know, their resume is just, it's the resume. You know what I'm saying? They dog walk. You know, I mean, let me calm down. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to y'all like I'm in a barbershop. You know what I mean? Or over there, you know, watching the game with my boys. So let me calm it down a little bit. But they came in. Who's the first team now? Let me go back and see that. I want to see their run. Hold on. Give me a second. I got to decline this. You got to give me a second. I got everybody, people calling me. But let me see this bracket, bro. Who was the first game they played? They were the South, right? Group 4 South, right? Or were they Central? They were South, I think. Yeah. So that first game, they had Manalapan, right? They beat them 56-20. They dog walked them. Wasn't even close. Listen to these scores, bro. They dog walked them 56-20. Then they turn around and play Coach Neck. Coach Neck scored 7 points. I think by accident. They beat them 49-7. 49-7. And then they turn around and play Millville. They dominated that game. They won that game 35-13. That like what are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about here? And then the following week, let me see. The following week, they played. Oh man, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. The following week, they played Winslow. They played Winslow, and they beat Winslow 41-7. 41-7. And then in the championship, they won 56-0. The resume, bro. Everybody was saying, you know, everybody talked about how good. You know, let me see what some of these teams record. What was Coach Neck record? Coach Neck wasn't, you know, they wasn't so good. You know, Winslow was 10-3, and Millville was 10-2 overall. So they had one loss, and that was to a tough Toms River North team. So I would like to see, yo, we need some sponsors. We need to put up 5,000. You know what I mean? Put up a game. Let's get it on. We might need to see that. Toms River North, mainland. We may need to see it. We may need to get some sponsorships. You know, we might need to see that game live in living color, bro. But, you know, all joking aside, congratulations, mainland. Huge win. You guys did everything that was expected of you. You went out there and dominated and showed exactly why you guys were considered the best, man. They rolled all the way through the playoffs, no hiccups. You know, they didn't care if you had a listen. And one thing that I noticed, I'm on the sideline, I'm listening, and you know, I watch body language and I watch attitudes, and man, that Jamie Tyson, bro, he's a dog, bro. He's a dog. He still can be developed a little bit. He is a dog. I think in the right program, he will be an elite corner. I think he has that type of potential. And I just like his attitude, man. He took on that challenge. He had to cover Brooks. You know what I'm saying? He had to turn around and cover Cam Miller. You know, he took the challenge head on. A guy like that, man, I need him on my team. Like, seriously, I need him on my team. And he wanted that challenge. Like, being on the sideline, you get to hear and see some things, man. You get to see, You get to hear some things, and it opens your eyes to some players. Some players, if you're on the sideline, man, if I was, listen, I was on the sideline on some schools this year, this season, and listen, ain't no way I will recruit them. No, I don't care how good they are. There's no way. Just your attitude, the way you're disciplined. If you're doing assignments, man, I was at a game. I heard the coach telling the kid to play was, it's coming right here. They running X, Y, Z. Some kids want to be coached. Some kids don't, man. Some kids think they got it all. He shut down half the field against Winslow. Listen. Y'all was watching what I was seeing. Like, sometimes I be wondering if I'm on an island all by myself. But I watched him physically, like, he just took that challenge on, man. He took that challenge on, and I got to applaud a kid like that. I got to applaud him. They knocked 2 number 1 seeds off. Listen, he committed to Villanova, should be going to Penn State or Syracuse. What I will say is this. Physically, he's there. He's there. He's physically there. He looks a little young in the face. Like, to me, I'm not sure his age. He could be 17, just turning 18, or 17 going to turn 18 a little. Listen, man, you put him in a right program, have him in a weight program, give him a year to learn to sit. Man, come on, bro. He got it, bro. Like, seriously, he got it. He got it. So, I want to give him his respect while I'm watching. But yeah, that was like a straight team between Delsey and Mainland. They are complete teams. They the type of teams that you want. You may not know every kid's name. You may know, hey, this number look good. But at the end of the day, those teams, they played as a team. And they won a state championship. And everybody got to give them their respect, man. I think we minimize how good some of these teams are when we discredit, the win versus, a team that we may like. This is an example, all right? Nobody kill me. This is an example, and I'm using Eastside, Millville, Winslow, I'm using them as an example, right? Like, especially for Winslow, especially for Winslow, right? They made it to the South Central game, right? You know how hard that is? Like, 2 years ago, if you win that trophy, you're considered one of the best coaches in our area. But now all of a sudden, people don't look at that as being successful, and I don't get it. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you want to win. I understand all of that, but these teams are good. That they're like it's another level, right? You keep going on, but to win a sectional championship, now people are saying that the coaches aren't good. Like, bro, Camden just won 2 sectionals, I believe, 2 sectionals in the last 2 years. The last time they did that was, like, the last time they won was in the 70s. You get what I'm, like, the last time they won was in the 70s, and they just won 2 in the last 2 years. But all of a sudden, the coach is not good, and that's not good enough. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand hearing the stuff that I, hear about Winslow coaches. I don't understand it. Bro, they just won a sectional championship. They just won the whole side. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to put some things in perspective, and listen, I used to be a little bit crazy in the stands too, I'm not going to lie. However, I just wanted to win. I knew if we won a sectional championship, that was a good thing. I would, like, after that, coach, you got me, like, we good. I just wanted to get there as a parent. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. But salute to all those championship teams. So I go back to ask y'all. The top of the question, the top of the program, I asked 2 questions. And one question was, what is going to be the impact of Fran Brown in South Jersey? If anybody want to jump on that, if you were late getting in, you want to ask a question, you want to make a comment, what's the impact of Fran Brown, coming back to South Jersey, to Syracuse? And also, how much time do you give your kid to recover after the football season before you get back into training? Do you do it 2 days later? We had a comment earlier, 2 days later, 2 weeks. Myself, I normally gave my kid the month of December off. Listen, don't even think about football. Go be a kid. Play a video, whatever you want to do. Just go do it. Detox. Get yourself ready, and then January we would jump right back on it. So for you guys at home, parents, some of you, even players that's in here, how much time do you need once the season is over? To get back into that mindset. Once again, congrats to Fran Brown. Listen, me and Fran, my guy, man. We got a long history. We've been knowing each other since we played youth football together for the Centerville Simbas down in Camden, back when it was called the Pink Elephant. Back when we had to run and crab the light poles. You know what I mean? That was our punishment. You had to crab the light pole around and back. We had to wear trash bags to lose weight, to make weight. Had to run around the whole Pink Elephant. Like, we come from that era. So, me seeing this right now is like, it's a little part of me, that feels like this is me too. You get what I'm saying? Like, he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you know somebody for a very long time and you see them make it to the NFL or the NBA or even to be an executive or the mayor or whatever, they in a place, it's like, like a part of you feel like, you made it too. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's all right to feel like that, man. I listen, love, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Here we go. We got some comments coming in. Fran Brown is the reason why Syracuse will get more kids from South Jersey and maybe all of Jersey. Whoo, Hector, I'm in with you. Listen, I know some of the people Fran is connected with. We all know some of the same people, small community. And one thing somebody said earlier, I think it was D Nice, he said earlier that parents send their kids with somebody that they can trust. And this is why, certain coaches, they're able to impact the game before the game is even played. They're able to walk into your living room, make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Make your parents feel good. I was watching a story. Who was it about? Was it Urban Meyer, or was it I forget. I forget who it was. It might have been Jimmy Johnson, I think it was. And the guys were talking about how the coach, like how he was able to just walk in their house and win over their parents, like win over the moms. Like, if you're able to do that in college football recruiting, like, the NIL is one thing, bro. Like, but just because you get the most money from X school doesn't mean that's the best fit for you. So my advice, to my kid would be, listen, you know what I mean? I'm going to just take the number. They throwing out $1 million for the quarterback at Washington. Let's say my son getting $1 million. He getting $1 million offers, let's just say. And a school like Syracuse, a school like, I'll say Colorado. Who else? I'll say those 2 schools. And even Clemson. Let's throw Clemson in. And let's say those 2, those 3, they walk in, they're not able to offer $1 million. But they at like 750. You know what I'm saying? Like 750, 850. But the fit is right. You have to take that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about like just throwing money out there at kids to get them to come, because you still need the right kids to fit into your program that understand it. And one thing that's undervalued in sports, and this is on all level in sports, you need glue guys. Like, people use that phrase, you need glue guys. They use that phrase lightly, but you need guys who may not be as good as everybody else on the team, but he is able to be another coach on the field. He's able to help control the locker room. He's able to stop guys from getting in trouble off the field. All the things like that. Like, he's able to bring guys in. That's what I think Jalen Hurts is. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't sold on Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? I still think he has some deficiencies as a quarterback. But one thing for sure, everybody play for him. Like, they play for him, bro. I watched Brandon Graham talk like, oh, you, like, we going to win it. It don't matter. You must not know who get ready to come on the field. You know, and he may not be the most talented quarterback. He may not be the best thrower of the football, but he's a guy that keep that shit moving, man, and you need people like that. Let me see what we got going on. I think about Diggs and Rakes at A&M. Both vouch for Coach Robinson. Keep the head coaching job, Elko. Could we see though? So I have some inside information that I will never put out on live. But I will say this. We know how cool Fran and Robinson is. Could this be the opportunity for Fran to say, yo, let me get my man back with me. Yo, you the DC. You the D coordinator. Robinson's never been a DC, right? He's just been a D-line coach. Yo, listen, come in, be the DC another year or two, bro. You going to get a job. I'm reaching back. I'm giving you your chance. Now, you have those guys like Rakes and Diggs and, you know, some other guys that may be at the University of Georgia. You get what I'm saying? Some guys that you may have recruited at Rutgers. Some guys that you may have thought you missed out on, or you underestimated or undervalued how good they was, that may hit the portal. Now you may have an opportunity to be like Coach Prime and bring in 12, 14 guys that's straight dogs from the SEC that played at other Big Ten schools, that made all conference and different type of, like, it opens it up. Like, those relationships, you know, sheesh, I'm just thinking about it. You know, I'm thinking about it. Robinson's, he knows this area too. He knows the Pennsylvania area. Spent time at Penn State. Like, do you make that call? Do you try to sway him to say, yo, bro, come, like, be the DC? Or, he may already know somebody else. You know, he may know Robinson may already have a really good situation there at, you know, A&M, and he may want to stay there and keep building there and have his family secure there. But those are all possibilities. But it's a great possibility to have. It's a great one to have. These are good problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walking in the door, you walking in with good problems. You know what I'm saying? Salute. I saw a lot of Syracuse fans, on board with Fran hiring before last night. What D3 coach that was they looking at? I know they were looking at guy that what is his name? He was recruiting my son over at Holy Cross. He was he used to be the Assumption coach, but he's a head coach now at Holy Cross. So I know they were looking at him too. So, you know. Let's talk about the coaching staff. Wouldn't be surprised if Coach Robinson checking Charles Watkins. Listen, man, they always had listen, kids, trying to tell you. I tried to tell you. They were all at the combine. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that combine got some people in position. Hopefully. We don't know, man. Listen, if they get Robinson and if they bring in Watkins, man, I don't think, like, between Philly, let's keep it all the way a buck, bro. Between Philly and South Jersey, sheesh. That thing might be sewn up. It might be sewn up. And the thing that Watkins is doing up at New Hampshire, you know, with some of the receivers up there, like, listen, we ain't never known for New Hampshire to have good receivers, and they had one this year. That boy was a sheesh. So, hey, man, we might as well not even stop there. We might as well, you know what I mean? Like, yo, bring in, you know, might as well go ahead down to Maryland. Yo, bring in Preston Brown, too. Let's get all CMD staff. Boy, would they be mad. Let's get all Camden staff, all South Jersey staff. Who else is out there available? But nah, it's a great problem to have. But once again, something I said earlier, like, we can't flood Fran with things that we want to see because it benefits us or it makes us feel good. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I hope Fran, you know, I wish him the best of luck. Anything he needs, he already know he can reach out, you know. He don't even have to hesitate, bro. We there. Anybody that support me, I support them. So, you know, he's always been a guy that supported me and gave me you know, we were able to have good conversations and good talk. So, you know, all love for that. You know, I've known Fran since, I think Fran probably was 8 or 9. I've known him since then. I'm a couple years older than him. So, yeah. I remember Fran playing. I remember Rashad Baker, the touchdown maker. I remember all them guys playing down in Centerville. So, you know, good thing. Yeah, man. So that was an issue to me, and that's why, you know, I definitely thought, Hector, at one point Fran should have been the defensive coordinator at Rutgers. And I think they did him dirty. So, you know, it's good for him to be in this position, have an opportunity to be a head coach. You know, I've had talks with him over the last, you know, couple years. You know, sometimes you got to be patient, right? Sometimes you got to be patient, and in the coaching business, it seems like, you know, that's the way it is. Like, you got to get in early, you got to be patient. You know, man, bro, listen, I'm super proud of Fran. Fran used to help us with our 8th grade spring league. You know, when he was, you know, in and out of camps and stuff for, I think, with the Bengals and, you know, things like that. Fran used to help us with the Camden Hurricanes back in 2006. So 2000, I want to say, was that 2006, 6 or 7, something like that. So, you know, to see him from helping us going to you know, I think he went to PVI for a little bit, from going from PVI to Temple, you know, to Baylor, to Rutgers, you know, to Georgia, and now being a head coach, man, that, bro, like, people don't get to experience that. People don't get to see that, and a lot of times we don't know, you know, what it takes to get to that point. I know he has a lot of young guys who are still playing and guys who have just graduated that want to get into coaching. So this is positive, man. This is positive. It definitely paid off. But yo, man, this was an impromptu. You know, I just wanted to jump on and talk to y'all, check y'all temperature. Big things happen in South Jersey. And I think for all of Jersey, to be honest with you, with, you know, the hiring of Fran Brown, I think that's huge. I think that's going to have a ripple effect all over South Jersey. So, I got my Twitter notifications on. I'm waiting to see who the new hires are, who the coaches he gonna fire, who he gonna keep in. He got Dennis Thomas there too. He keeping Dennis. Is he gonna elevate Dennis? Is he gonna keep him? Like, it's a lot of things that are going on, and some things going on behind the scenes, and a lot of things to think about. So, but yeah, once again, man, don't flood that man. Get mad because he don't bring in your cousin on the coaching staff, and don't get mad because he don't recruit your son or your nephew. Like, bro, this man got to keep his job, and at the end of the day, whatever he needs to do so, I'ma support it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I thank y'all for jumping on with me for a little bit. Just a little conversation. I'm smelling, smell like dinner ready. I promised my daughter I'll play with her too. Hope, you know what I mean? Had homework to help her with last night. Listen, the last time I did homework, I'm gonna let y'all in on something, right? The last time I did homework with my kids was when my son was in he was in elementary school or middle. I think it was middle school. Whenever they first started learning multiplication, I think it was elementary school. So he asked me to help him. Riley, can you bring me a water? He asked me to help him with his homework. So I'm like, all right, man, piece of cake. Let's go. Helped him. It was like multiplications. Started helping him with his multiplications. We did all the work. Got the ant. Listen. We was, you got to carry this. You got to do it like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing him the whole thing. He goes to school, takes his homework, gives it to the teacher. You know what I'm saying? Comes back home, shows me like, Dad, I got them all wrong. I'm like, what? How you get them all wrong? Yeah, we got to do it this way. I think that's when that box math or something crazy came out. Something like that crazy. You got them all wrong, man. We got them all. After that, I said, I don't know what they teaching y'all in school. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not trying to learn how to do math again. Listen, when I was in school, I barely wanted to learn it at that point. Now that I'm a parent, I got three kids, and I got 4 kids, and they all spaced out. You know what I'm saying? They spaced out. Got 4 joints. They spaced out, man. So it's different teaching each one of them math. Every 5 years it's a different kind of math and new math and all this stuff. So he got the problems right, but he got them all wrong because he didn't show the work. I mean, I was done, bro. I was done. But yeah, man. Definitely you gotta teach yourself how to do the same work your kids are doing. It is not fun. Last night I had, how we teaching kids about, mammals and all this stuff. Like, bro, she's 5. She don't know the difference between a bird, a snake, a cat, a dog. Like, so me trying to explain it, like, it's hard. Like, help me explain this to her. Like, how am I, like, it was just crazy. But, we got to do better, man. These kids 5 years old. We send them home with homework. I have no clue what y'all teaching them in school. Y'all could just send us a little summary of what was learned. Today in class, we learned about XYZ. So now my brain is thinking on that wavelength. Come on, teachers. Y'all got to help us out, man. Y'all got to help us out. But yeah, man, salute. I'm going to eat dinner. I'll talk to y'all later. We got to do this a little more often, man. I like talking to y'all, man. Letting those thoughts out, but I'm out of here.